Your reality won't change until your reality won't change until your feelings do. Ready to rise from the inside out? This is episode 100. You know how it is. You set your goals, you pray, you try to stay positive, but no matter how hard you push, you still feel stuck in the same cycle: financial lack, emotional exhaustion, repeating patterns, and relationships or purpose. You start to wonder, is God testing me? Am I blocked? Is something wrong with me? The truth is, it's not your effort that's off. It's your emotional frequency. Yes, your emotional frequency. I said it. If you've been working for what you haven't yet learned to feel, you're not broken. You're just out of alignment. Yes, I spoke this before to you. The good news, or should I say the gospel, is when you revise that whisper right now and rise. You heard me. The gospel truth is you can revise that whisper right now and rise. One of the mystics, Neville Goddard, of course, said, if a physical effect can produce a feeling, then the feeling can produce a physical effect. Let me break it down. Let me make this very plain to you. He was telling us that if money in your hands make you feel secure, then feeling secure, even without money, can call it in. Oh, yes. If being in love makes you feel beautiful, then feeling beautiful now can manifest the love you seek. That's the law of works. It's flip the script. And it demands that we stop waiting for the outer to heal the inner. It's not going to happen. You should start beginning to allow yourself to know that healing the inner so the outer can respond. I don't want to make that complex for you. So digest this. Every whisper that you speak silently to yourself, I am tired, I am unseen, I am unstuck. Guess what it's doing? It's calling, or should I say, it's creating vibrations. And those vibrations attract experience that confirm your whisper. That's the key, is what confirm it. Remember God said if one or two of you agree? So that don't have to be two people. That could be your vibration and your words. When I started speaking from the place of my fulfilled desire, my life began to shift. I am a witness, and witness. I seen things happen that I had to take a double look. Everything began to shift, not overnight, but it did steadily, because your inner speech becomes your spiritual blueprint, as I have repeated before, for a particular reason. Now let me solve your problems, and you might want to write this down. You don't have to get what you want. Or should I say, you don't get what you want. You get what you feel. Remember this? The feeling is the secret. And religion said, oh no, that's the devil. But they need to go back into the Bible in the New Testament to when Isaac blessed his son. It was all about feelings. If you want joy, you must feel it now, not wait for it. Emotions is the activation for key manifestation. Imagination is your spiritual room. Oh my goodness. Imagination is your spiritual womb. Everything starts in the mind and grow in the heart before it ever appears in your hand. That needs to be repeated. Everything starts in the mind and grows in the heart before it ever appears in your hand. I love it. Feelings now create your future. You get it? You see what I'm trying to say and what I've been saying for a long time? Feeling secure now brings provision. Feeling love now brings connection. Feeling whole now brings healing. I'm trying to think to myself, because I once had a mentee say to me during my testimony or after my testimony. In the testimony, most people want to hopefully tell their story, which is being blessed by God. And this person said to me afterward, aren't you always, let me go back. I said to the person, I walk into my blessing. What I was saying was I walked like I was blessed. And that person said to me, aren't you always walking in blessings? That was the biggest compliment that I could ever have, because it made me realize, like I said this in some of my past podcasts, fake it till you make it. So basically she was saying, you always faking it. Or if you didn't get that, did you get what I just said? Feelings now create your future. So that was something that I wanted you to understand or know. I was faking, and then I go fake for my mentees who don't have the faith to fake it. And they come back with a testimony. And I say, I already knew that. They said, Miss P, I passed my test. I said, I already knew that. That's called, the mystics call it spiritual treatment. I call it prophetic treatment or prophetic goals. It's not meant to be ungodly, because if you know the Master Jesus and you one of those who really read your New Testament, you definitely will hear stories. This is why he spoke in parable. Those stories of healing was preparation that turned into manifestation. Only a few of y'all would understand that. Let's see what God says about it. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. That is probably my number one, at least my top 3 scripture. Notice it didn't say, as he thinks in his mind. It said in his heart, your emotional center. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say. I believe this was in one of my books. Do you have clarity? Remember we talked about that? Have clarity. You know, most people read scriptures and they just read it to read it, not understanding that even the scriptures, I believe, was in parable. Only the spiritual minded will get it. That's why by the time the Master Jesus spoke, they Pharisees and the Sadducees was confused. You know, when you got a call on your life, when you are one of God anointed, you know who don't believe you? The religious people, the church people. I have nothing against them, but these are people who don't know nothing about God. Now, if you have a church, and you're a pastor, you know that majority of the people, especially if a mega church, are not there, don't know God. So they get mad at you when things go your way, when you always manifested something. No, that's not God. What kind of spirit do you have? They did the same thing to Jesus. Because that same seed that was in the Sadducees and the Pharisees is here today. You don't believe me? I don't want to solicit my book here, but you might want to check out Spiritology, because I reveal it all. See, it wasn't his mind, it was his heart, and in the heart is the emotional center. So if it is the emotional center, what comes out of emotion? It is moving. Moving is your feelings. It's your vibration. That's your magnet. Oh, yes. I challenge you for the next 7 days, each night before you go to bed, go into a moment that disappointed you that day. In your imagination, you're going to revise it. I don't know what happened to you that day, today. I mean, you could have been annoyed. Instead, imagine if you was being celebrated. See how we revised that? If you was dismissed, imagine that you was being heard. If you felt afraid, imagine feeling strong. Don't just think it, feel it. I'm serious here. Feel it until your body believe it. Repeat after me. I revise my whispers and rise in faith. My feelings manifest my promised land. I'm going to say it again. I revise my whisper and rise in faith. My feelings manifest my promised land. You want to memorize that. You want to memorize it, write it down, put it on your bathroom wall. And then you need to write this down. I want you to reflect on this, and you might want to put it in a comment. What emotions must I feel now to align with the life I desire? You know, that's a heavy thing. Emotions is a heavy thing, especially when it involves sadness, anxiety, being anxious for nothing. It can run very deep. But when you realize that feeling is truly the secret, you would say, let me think twice. Let me control my emotions. Yes, this is Whisper Unplugged. Subscribe, share, and comment to keep the empowerment flowing. Until next time, unplug, transform, and manifest your promised land today or daily. You can pick one.